is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Before we start, I should apologise for the lack of content yesterday. My train died on the way home. Yes, I went to Norwich over the weekend, as many of you know. There was an episode of Not Worth a Cork on Friday. Link it in the pinned comment, I will that is. If you're at all interested in listening to two boomers work their way through whiskies. Yes. The weekend though was a great success and I had a lot of fun. Today we're going to have a look at the triumphant return of Amber.
Hi guys, I'm back!
Because she went away for 10 days. I thought, much like my train, do I need to finish that? Now obviously, mass downvoted, ignoring my comment even though it is the most poignant. Hello, it's rotting. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to read that. Her teeth just explored too high, guys. And if your tooth is decayed to a point of breaking off, you just know the breath is kicking. Yeah, no, it's going to be a tooth thing, isn't it? We English get a lot of stick for our teeth because they're not as white, yeah? Yet, the majority of those I've spoken to about this will agree, while they are not the whitest, they are quite healthy and sturdy, as opposed to, Americans where they're mostly white and incredibly decayed. Just because ours are crooked, mine aren't. But just for those who are, because the stereotype exists for a reason, doesn't in any way mean ours are not as healthy. We're just deformed from inbreeding, apparently. So let's dive into this video and find out why Amber has been gone for 10 whole days. How is the internet code? It's like Chantal. Except we know why Chantal's in trouble, and I may have to do a video on that tomorrow, because there's more coming out, isn't there now? Are we really going to do this, Amber? You vanish for 10 days, and you do a rewind? All you do in your content is literally nothing. But you have to rewind it so we can get what you might well dub context. Okay.
Hello, welcome to another vlog. So I'm currently just about to do my makeup. Obviously foundation first. Sometimes I use primer, sometimes I don't. You know what? I'm gonna use primer today. I'm also gonna try my new eyebrow pencil today. I am going to do some bronzer today, which I usually don't. I had an era years ago where I did, but it's been a while.
Couple things. You showing us you doing your makeup is one of the only times you actually show us you doing something. The rest of the time where the makeup is relevant, like you may be going out, or walking around your apartment, or lounging on your couch, but lounging is a bit redundant with all the cushions on the back that you have to put there because there's no actual back to it. We see you doing nothing. Second, and it's also fairly important, for someone of your size, profile pictures of the side of your head, basically like a coin, are not beneficial to you. It makes everything look like, well, you do belong on the face of a train.
I have freaking spectacular news. Guess what? I checked my little health portal thing. So, okay, first of all, my doctor will message me about my results, but he hasn't gotten around to it yet. But I saw the results, and guess what? My thyroid antibodies are normal. So that means I do not have Hashimoto's.
No one cares, Amber. I can promise you no one cares because no one thought you had it in the first place, because you used it solely so you could talk about another ailing health problem you claim to have with no proof to confirm it. Much like this story, in fact, you're not proving anything, you're just stating it. No one thought you had Hashimoto's because you were only using hypothyroidism as an excuse to justify your weight gain of late. Your weight gain is because you do nothing and you eat copious amounts of food. Seriously. Third, no amount of makeup can hide the darkness around your eyes. Seriously. You'd need to buy a plaster for it.
But I still have hypothyroidism, but it's not due to having Hashimoto's.
Yeah, we don't care. You claimed Hashimoto's. No one else did. You did. You used telehealth and WebMD to look up symptoms that you think you have. You think you understand your body better than a doctor could. Apparently not, Amber. It's why your weight is still going up and why we still haven't had a weigh-in yet. I have a feeling that weigh-in Wednesday's out. The series is done, did everyone? I was right. We weren't going to get the back 9.
So, I don't know. I guess my thyroid just decided to, I don't know, not work?
Much like you and your content for the past 3.5 to 4 years then, right? I guess it's learning from you. Wait until other organs start to not work. I'm not rooting for them. I want them to keep working so you can get better. But it is inevitable, and it will certainly happen sooner rather than later.
So I don't really know like the underlying cause. I don't really know what my doctor's gonna say, but I was genuinely just really happy to hear that. And by the way, this light in here, sometimes it makes me look extremely yellow. Like it's a light that like changes. See, like that one makes me look really yellow, but that one's like the most home feeling one, so that's why I had it on, but I don't like the way it makes me look.
Cool, you have a light that changes colour depending on sensitivity for your eyes. I thought you were jaundiced anyway, so when you changed the lighting to white light, I'll be honest, the difference was marginal. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. I'm impressed the liver still works. Her endocrine system has to be working overtime, and that poor liver deserves better.
So yeah, I'm just gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna do my hair. I'm thinking about maybe pigtails today. I don't know. People be hating on pigtails. I'm like, you could be like 300 years old and still wear pigtails. Like, it's just a hairstyle.
Okay, so just before she tells us how amazable she looks in an outfit with a full body view, which I promise you she does not, there are limitations to what some people can wear with their hair because of how it looks on them, right? I know that I can't rock certain hairstyles these days, not that I'd want to anyway because long hair is best. You also have to consider not just whether your hairline recedes with your thinner hair, for example, you have to consider whether or not you have, because of the framing of your face. Pigtails look ridiculous on you because it makes you look like a girly pop. Really, it makes you look like an unbranded bovine.
Change of plans. I'm wearing my hair down, straight, in this cute dress. So I had a whole different outfit picked out. That's when I was gonna wear the pigtails, but I don't feel like pigtails goes with this dress. This dress is so cute, and I love that it has pockets.
Based on what we know is in the side of your body, we've seen when you've worn tighter clothing, the extra bulges, yes? The Bowie bulges of your sides, the ripples, those pockets will probably be better off turned out so they can be used as interior pockets for your body to fit more comfortably within the clothing. If anyone's now trying to envision that, think of it like someone stuffing sausage meat into a skin.
So that was literally from like a week and a half ago. And then that night at bingo, something happened. And this is just like the story time of where I've been. So I'm at bingo with my mom. I'm there with my mom's fiance. We're ordering some food to eat. My mom gets the chicken strips, and so do I. So something that we do when we both get chicken strips is I give her my big, thick pieces because I don't like those.
Don't forget, everyone, Amber is a very quirky individual. She's very fussy about what she puts into her body. She's fussy about the meat put in front of her. She doesn't like it big and thick. She likes it small and dry, which explains a lot. If it's small and dry, it has to be diced as well. It also has to be overcooked. It has to be ruined, because then she can slather it up with sauces, because then it, and I'll quote her, slaps. Something tells me you don't actually like meat. You just like a medium that can hold on to the sauces you like to violate the meat with, which I'd argue at that point is no longer meat.
So she'll give me her small, crispy pieces because those are the pieces that I like. So we did that. Everything's good. I'm just eating. I saved my crispiest piece for last. I'm chewing. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm chewing on bone. Like I have chicken bone in my mouth. Like, ouch, ew. I take it out of my mouth and I'm like, this looks weird. And then I feel my tooth back here with my tongue. And I'm like, wait, that's actually my tooth that just broke.
So a harsh lesson has to be learned by all. We all learn this as we get older. I, for example, don't touch toffee. I don't go near hard-boiled sweets because I want to break them. But I also know as I'm older, I'm likely to break a tooth. I don't want to break a tooth, so I don't touch things like that. I don't go near crispy foods because quirky, crunchy texture thing, because that's her shtick, right? I would much rather eat things that are a bit more forgiving. So I don't do French fries either. I would much rather have chips, because even though there's a slight crisp to them, they're mostly a bit softer. You, Amber, are not young, abused your teeth over the years with all the food you shovel into your mouth. You don't pay much attention, there's no point telling us you do. At your size, there's no chance you actually do. So you breaking a tooth is hardly a surprise. This story time is now a bit redundant. We don't care. You've been gone for 10 days. You could have milked that for content. And let's not forget here, you've milked lies about your medical background like there's no tomorrow. And you made consistent content using it and crying about it. But when you break a tooth, when you actually have definitive, damage done, you disappear for 10 days. Don't try us. You disappeared for 10 days because you don't need to make money. You've made enough to get by for the month. That's what it is. You're lazy, you phone in most of your content, so don't try anyone with this nonsensical attempt at trying to fob off your 10-day hiatus as anything but you taking 10 days off to try and get your health in order because you couldn't. And you failed and realised you needed to make more videos for the month anyway. Yeah, we're smarter. You're welcome.
So I have always had really bad teeth issues all right here. I don't know what it is. I brush my teeth night and day. I'm very good about oral hygiene.
I keenly await the next essay stream video from Beck debunking that claim. Firstly, you're in your early to mid-30s. Teeth start to break. It's quite common. I broke one last year and I had to have it extracted. It was a molar right at the back next to my wisdom tooth. I look after my teeth as well. It's incredibly common at this point. However, I do believe you don't look after your teeth. I can believe that. Additionally, you can brush your teeth twice a day, but what you put in your mouth does determine a lot of how healthy your teeth can be. The teeth do start to break down. If the ppm, for example, on the toothpaste isn't high enough, you're essentially just washing them. Gum health is important too. Making sure you supplement to look after and strengthen your teeth is also important. It's not just about brushing or mouth washing, rinsing as it were. Sometimes people have to scrape their tongue as well. It's quite common to prevent things like halitosis from building up. This is why we are healthier. Yeah. You need to be more attentive because you only get one adult set. You're not going to get new teeth afterwards. Unless they offer to root canal, which you won't let them do because money, and you want to get a cheat code. You also won't because of anxiety, because you're dainty. There are many things one has to consider when it comes to dental health, and I take it very seriously, because it's very important to look after what you have. I, for example, don't use an electric toothbrush, because I find the bristles actually aggravate my teeth that are very sensitive. So I brush my teeth properly, slowly, carefully. You should do the same. Of course, I can believe for the last 10 days you haven't because you've damaged a tooth that might well have been glued back together, temporarily, if you didn't eat the glue, which I could also believe possible.
So I've always had a really bad tooth back here that had a hole in it, and it was kind of broken prior to a dentist appointment that I had years ago. And it always randomly would cause me issues. I'm talking so much pain. I'm rocking back and forth.
I'm going to speak for the internet when I say we don't care. You see, if you've had an issue for all those years and you spent all this money on Ozempic, semaglutide twice, now looking at a fourth option as well, or a third option but for a fourth time, all that money wasted when you could get your dental health in order, then chances are you're an idiot. You have to be, and I understand people are afraid of dentists or doctors, but based on the fact your WebMD solutions or claims of illnesses, you can damn well afford to go see a doctor, a dentist especially, to get your teeth in order. It's all on you, the grown-up, to make sure they're in good condition. I know far too many people who are afraid of dentists, and I'm not one of them. I love my dentist. He treats me well, we get on well, he's always looked after me. You've moved a lot, you go to different doctors with a click of a finger, and I get it. I really do. However, the buck stops at your feet, and you've made enough money in the past to be able to do it. So don't try us. We don't care because you don't look after yourself, and if you've had this issue all that time, that would tell us while that tooth was rotting and decaying away from the inside out, your breath would have hummed. Your breath would have gotten worse and worse. No amount of mouthwash would have fixed it because the root is under attack. That's what the decay is doing. It is attacking the root, which will cause you pain because of nerve endings, all of which is self-induced. What were your priorities though? Shoving food in your face and acting like you're above everyone else. At no point caring about what matters the most, which should be your health. Dental health is very important for someone like you, because without those precious teeth, those molars, especially to do some chewing, you're getting nowhere and you're not able to get enough food in quick enough. and there's no chance of you losing weight because you're still siphoning in massive amounts. It's just bottlenecked.
I feel like I'm going insane. I feel like I want to punch my mouth and genuinely just take out the tooth myself. Like the pain would radiate all up here, all down here, in my ear, in my eye. Like it was the worst pain I've ever felt.
Yes, we get it. You're a masochist and stupid. Congratulations.
So when I broke the tooth at bingo from the chicken strip, like I genuinely didn't feel any pain. I didn't think anything of it because I'm like, this tooth already causes me problems randomly. Like every other month, I'll just be in so much pain. It's something that I just like deal with. And listen, I've gone to the dentist. They've told me we probably cannot save this tooth.
So get an extraction done then. All they have to do is numb the area. Once it's numb enough, they break the tooth bit by bit and remove everything. All you have to do is not chew on that side of your mouth for a little while. If it's at the top of your mouth, it will heal a bit quicker because everything floods from the top. Don't suck on straws because that will do damage. When you rinse your mouth, don't for a few days because you need it to properly like create a crust over the top. Not crust, but start to harden. It takes a few weeks. You just have to be more attentive. Your binge eating, your greed, might be your undoing. They're not going to put stitches on it because that's the dumbest thing you can do. Also, it won't be the easiest because of the swelling. I'm giving advice to somebody who doesn't listen, so I don't know why I'm doing it. Maybe it's a public service announcement that makes my conscience feel less guilty at not being a bit nice from time to time.
Getting a tooth removed is honestly like mentally really, really hard. Like genuinely. If you've ever had to have a tooth removed, then you know that.
I have twice, and I'm not remotely afraid. No, 3 times. All of them molars next to wisdom. Yeah, not remotely afraid. But that might be a mentality of, I have stuff to do, get on with your job. There is nothing to fear, you just have to pay attention to what you're doing for a while. Again, I had one out last year, it's not that scary. And as I'm getting older, this is kind of normal. They're all rear molars, the last one before the wisdom tooth, all of which sit comfortably in my mouth. You wanting to act like this is scary, yet you've had your apparent cancer, all these other issues that make you cry, this one doesn't. The fact you felt nothing, by the way, could well be because the root has finally died, meaning you have a dead tooth in your mouth, which sucks really, doesn't it? Yeah, you have no one to blame but yourself for that one.
So it was that night when I came home from bingo, I'm like, oh great, I'm getting a toothache. And then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I'm telling you, like I couldn't even talk. I was in so much pain, rocking back and forth, my whole body shaking. I'm like crying uncontrollably. It was miserable.
So this is what baffles me. If this is true, and it is in fact what happened, you could have milked that for content. Because you've cried about things happening to you anyway, why not something that is apparently true? Let's not forget here, the most viewed video on your channel is you crying about the cancer diagnosis. You know where the money's at. So if you cry about something else, you're going to get views again. You might not get the sympathy though. Not this time, not for toothache. But you'll get the views, and that's easy coin, which Dainty Lynn Reed, aka Amber, needs.
So I'm not a medicine girly. I only take medicine when I actually, truly have to take it. Like if it's like there is no other option.
Do I need to pull up all the videos of you buying pill organizers, talking about taking medications, paying to take medications for cheat codes? Do I need to do that now? Because that would make this video incredibly long, but it would prove a rather succinct point that this statement alone is an absolute load of bollocks.
So I popped some Tylenol. An hour later, the pain is easing. 4 hours later, hurts again. Pop some Tylenol.
Because I'm feeling generous, I would advise, rather than taking paracetamol, as we call it here, perhaps even ibuprofen. I wouldn't recommend those. I would suggest a numbing gel or paste. Anything that contains benzocaine, basically. You can buy it over the counter. It's not overly difficult. I know you might want to eat it, but actually the numbing gel would have done you more use than paracetamol that you have to wait for your body to get to. And it's also mild pain relief, paracetamol is. Same with ibuprofen. If you can get both as a combo Gzic or buying Neuramol, you should consider that instead. But a numbing gel is better for a broken tooth.
So it was the morning on day 4 where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get my tooth removed. Like I genuinely have to do it. I cannot continuously be dealing with this because the pain was so bad. Like, you know how like when you go to a hospital they ask you like 0 through 10 what's your pain? Like I wouldn't even been able to like say 10. I would have been like 100. Like it hurt so bad. Like there's just no words for it. So long story short, went to the dentist, got my tooth removed.
So a couple things, because I thought this was interesting to look up. I'd like to see the tooth in truth. That's just one part. The second is the chair itself you were on, because most dentist chairs go up to £280. Some can go up to £308 as a weight capacity. Bariatric dental chairs are available for patients who exceed those limits. They are incredibly uncommon. They go up to £1,000. So I'm really curious whether you actually used a dentist chair or whether this was done, I don't know, with you being lifted down with a forklift perhaps. That intrigues me. I do want to add, you telling us these stories means nothing to any of us because it's not you doing or showing you doing anything. People would be a lot more sympathetic to you, the vlogger, if you actually vlogged what was going on in your life. And this being such a harrowing ordeal would be something you could actually make into content, and you could remove the parts that were the more demonetizable parts to get it uploaded. You know this. Basic dental healthcare, you could actually be a public service announcement for it, but you don't want to do that, which again seems redundant. I'm not going to refute whether or not your tooth has been removed because I don't care. I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner, and it's disappointing that it took something like that to force you to go and actually get your tooth dealt with when it should have been done years ago. Your breath would have been brutal. Infections in the mouth always smell bad. If you couldn't notice, chances are it was all those bloody sauces you stuff in the pockets of your cheeks. As a final thing, I think when it comes to you making content, there are levels of lazy no one else will touch with a barge pole. Because if I'd uploaded something like this as a video on my channel here, I wouldn't break 100 views, because my audience expect better, which is why they're getting another still image. Yet more is happening in my video breaking down what you do than there is with you telling us a story. You disappearing for 10 days is nonsensical, because even you will suffer from it if this is to be true. You can try and say otherwise, but it's actually irrefutable at this point. Next month's paycheck is going to be quite bleak for you, and you solely rely on old videos, because without them, you'd be just as up shit creek as Chantal.